Broadcasting live from upstate New York, a technology talk show that puts you and your questions first. It's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah, baby, it's Tech Talk Live, coming to you live from upstate New York. I'm Blibber.
I'm Snide.
And I'm JJ.
Oh, boy, what a show we got today. And we're all revved right up, ready to go.
Absolutely.
We're here.
Always revved right up, ready to go.
Yeah, make sure you view us.
Yeah, view us.
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook.
Because we like you.
Yes.
Okay, what are we going after today? Anything good?
Lots of things.
I think I'll go for a Jim Dandy.
I'd like to go for a Jim Dandy, too.
Second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Me.
Motion carried.
So
I'm outvoted again, ain't I?
Ah, yes. Very good.
I hope they make a heart-healthy Jim Dandy.
Oh, it's maybe someday.
Okay.
Fat-free ice cream. No.
Let's see. What are we talking about anyway? I got a couple items, but I got to open up my
Open says me.
Yeah, there we go. Bookmarks. I know I bookmarked them.
Bookmarks. Anyway, yes, I'm sorry that I'm half distracted because I just noticed I forgot something.
Uh-oh.
Forgot the telephones.
Yeah, right. Telephones are good.
Telephone, right?
Anyway, what I thought I was going to do anyway was a lot of people have been complaining this last week about a couple different things where they're having problems where the passwords are expiring, and they want to know any tips on getting better or more memorable passwords, but yet secure. So I thought I'd do something about that and maybe discuss that piece. And then the round table that I thought we could do is, we all know it's presidential election time. We all know, we've seen probably some of the debates and stuff. And really the key thing here is, without getting into the bashing and whatever else, what does technology have to do with the presidential debates and the presidential piece?
Well, first off, it's digital cameras, so make them look good.
Right. Add a little hair,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Makeup.
Color the gray, I'm thinking.
So, well, what do you want to discuss first? Well, I got MacGyver's robot could make use of objects it finds.
Nice.
MacGyver.
Yeah.
He's got a MacGyver knife that he could cut through cable with him. That knife.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
can cut anything.
But do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for that.
Fire it up.
The Georgia Tech's research and designing robots that can improvise using objects in their environment to complete complex tasks. That's like if they find a pipe laying over on the floor. You got somebody in trouble that's pinned under something. They can use that in a fulcrum, you know what I mean? Well, if there's more things to use, 2x4 or something, and pry that person out, pry the object off from them.
So these robots can actually think to a certain degree.
Right. So give a modern robot a specific job to do, and it'll do it pretty well. Whether it's scooping dog waste, fetching.
I was just thinking scoop and poo.
Scooping something.
Scooping
You're probably
dog.
programmed to do it, though, actually.
Scooping dog waste or fetching food at the same time.
Right.
Don't get them mixed up, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
You're something.
Well, I'm just reading what it says there. And fetching food for humans, searching dangerous environments. But it would probably wouldn't be able to, but it probably wouldn't be able to improvise or figure out how to grab objects lying around and use them for tools. The research of Georgia Tech is changing that, tuning robotic helpers into machines, MacGyver, that can use objects to create the creativity
more complexes.
of it.
Yeah.
So that really sounds good, like fire departments, you know what I mean? Rescuing people out of a burning building. I was just using that as an example.
Exactly.
Now how do I do this and what do I do? And it's thinking how fast can a computer think over the mind? You know what I
Right.
mean? And
And
be
how fast
accurate.
do these computers move too? Is another question. They got to build them on thinking.
Well, it looks like it's on a Fedway. But
I guess I'm not awake yet because I'm just kind of like, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Next.
but can a MacGyver robot use a knife? Well, probably yes. And how much more programming is it? Well, it's like I said, escaping a chair to climb up through and escaping burning window. I was just saying, I didn't read that,
I mean,
but
you could use like a JAWS system on
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
JAWS of life kind of.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Unique
There's
tools.
a lot of things that you could probably do that would be great if these things become affordable. I mean, that's going to be the question. I mean, how much did that robot cost for the programming and the actual build of it? I mean, does it give you any type of?
well, here we go. Like we were talking yesterday about grants. Remember? You know, designing airplane and aircraft, and the government already paid for this.
Yeah.
Then turn around and you got to pay X amount of $1 million per copy. You know, so anyway, this would be helpful for the military robots working alongside human personnel.
Right.
So the Office of Naval Research is funding Stillman's work with a 3-year, $900,000 grant. And the first step is to build the hybrid reasoning system. So that's what it's all about, is a computer with a reasoning system.
So it's got to have it has to have the algorithms and the programming in order to be able to go, okay, I can do X, Y, Z. I can figure out an angle and figure out what a fulcrum is and use this 2x4 in the environment to pry this person out of a bad situation.
Well, my mic isn't loud enough. I got to adjust the mic. Now what do I do? You know, and this thing is making all these calculations on what the volume should be.
Right.
Give
and
us some
moving.
input on this topic. Give us a call, 315-220-0692, or
If you want to give us an email, you can give us an email at techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
we'd love to hear your comments.
Like us on
Yeah.
Facebook.
So
Got Facebook up and running, so if you want to leave a comment there, that's fine too.
and
Yep.
but you know, I have no other comment on the MacGyver. But it sounds like a wave of the future, you know, for future things.
Definitely
And
something nice, something coming,
is this going to put people out of work too? You know,
right?
you know what I mean?
Well, okay. There's always a good compliment to that thought process. You know, is it going to put people out of work? Probably. There's probably going to be somebody that had a job doing some type of construction or some type of something this robot could take the place of. The question comes down to is how we as a society treat that. If we treat it as, you know, the insensitive type and say, yeah, it's going to put people out of job. Too bad, they're all lazy son of guns. You know, you're gonna have a real hard time with people losing jobs over that. Now, if you take and say, okay, well, you're gonna lose these jobs because these robots can do it, but we're gonna retrain you to do something different or better or
Or
whatever.
re-educate them to help
The
rest-
robots.
This robot, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So I mean that's going to be the question is whether
is
we
this
deal it.
robot going to be able to drive a tractor on the farm to lift that bale of hay or da 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 da? you know?
Actually, they already have tractors that can automate baling hay and stuff.
Well, it's all done with satellite GPS systems,
Right.
You know, and they're accurate
Right.
within 2 inches.
You know, these
I
ro-
couldn't believe how accurate those things are. GPSs. Yep.
Right. I was just gonna say these robots are only going to be as intelligent as the people that are programming them. So, you know, we need to re-educate these
Got to
People,
re-educate
yeah,
the
right.
people that are.
losing their jobs that are
Which
now
you
come
know
up.
brings us to a really good comment about education. I mean, where should we be investing our dollars or our schools or whatever the case may be, or what is a good thing for education at this point? I mean, if you're a kid coming up right now at 16, what do you think is probably going to be the wave of the future that you're going to have a job in? You know, I mean, there's only like 3 industries right now that are doing fairly well, that
Yeah.
are, and one of them's being destroyed right now. But you know,
My comment is on it is there's always going to be a job for a grunt. you can't have all college-educated people doing grunt jobs. They won't accept it because the money is not there.
Well, I agree with that too.
See, so you got your lower-end jobs that have always been there, always will be. A dishwasher in a restaurant, that's a grunt, and you're not going to have a college-educated person going in doing dishes in a restaurant.
Well, if they need a job, they're going to do it.
I was just using that as an example off the top of my head.
You just have to see how far society wants to push the technology, really.
Right. I mean, if society starts pushing it where the robots are taking over all the grunt work, okay,
right.
You know, I don't think we're going to have much of a choice other than to re-educate and move forward. You know, and that grunt work, but
education is very domineering, or I didn't want to use domineering. It's essential. You got to have the education so that you're not left out in the dark. You know, a certain amount of education is how do I farm, you know, these vegetables to get the most out of the vegetables that I got to get. Now I got to go pick them. What do I use? Do I pick them and throw them on the ground and then come back through later and pick them up? Or do you put them in a basket? Is this robot going to be able to do that? You see, that's...
I don't know. That's really the question, is how far this is going to go. I mean, in your lifetime, you're probably not going to see that situation, I don't think. Maybe in our lifetime, we might.
Around, maybe. Yeah.
You know, it might be just coming around where that you're going to see... You're going to see a new class of citizen come along, which is going to be the robot. Yeah, the MacGyver, right.
MacGyver, right.
You know.
But what I'm saying is that you're programming it to look for certain things on the ground and pick them up, you know, or vegetables, or like I said, you know, vegetables, tomatoes, squash, any of that stuff. That's farming.
Right.
So now all of a sudden this MacGyver is going to be able to drive a tractor or use to take in all the surrounding information.
Just remember, they can't
needs.
take away what you've learned. Education's a great thing. So
right, I agree with that.
But then again,
we're going to take it away from you.
Well, then again, too, if you don't use it, if you're not using it every day, you get lax on that part of the education.
Right, you just need to get
I don't want a med student that just got out of college and surgery, out of surgery school or whatever you want to call it. Sit there and be like, okay, I haven't done surgeries in 15 years. Yeah.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, let's try it again.
How do you thread the needle?
Yeah, right?
I got to stitch you up. Well, there's a lot of things that don't get stitches anymore. It's all done with
super glue.
Super glue. Right?
Yeah, super glue is one. Don't laugh. It's true.
Staples and
yeah. I remember hearing that. And then, like I said, it's surgical tape. You're pushed together, and the tape is applied right up. You got a wide strip of tape, and you're all sealed up.
Right.
So, I mean, technology is advanced. Otherwise, you used to have the old
staples.
Well, no, not so much staples, but the stitchery.
Oh yeah,
the big old.
Yeah, the doctors that had to learn how to sew.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was
looks
doctors.
Like a ladder.
I think it was
like
physician assistant. Close them up.
Yeah,
right.
The big ladder going up your chest.
Yeah. But
that's what it looked like, really.
Oh, wow.
Like a stepping ladder.
Got any comments? Give us a call at
315-220-0692.
We love comments.
We love comments. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. You got computer questions? Hey, you got a problem with your computer? Give us a call here on the show or email us and we'll get to it and we'll tell you how to fix it or give you an idea how to fix it.
And if you got a problem with MacGyver, we'll fix him too.
Nothing that a quarter stick of dynamite won't solve, right?
Right.
So
or just if you want to call and say hi, give us a call.
Yeah, call in and say hi. I was hoping Second Chance Dog Rescue is doing some, I forget what it was this morning, but there was something that they were doing to help rescue dogs in the area. And I told, I posted on their page, I said, give us a call and we'll do a little promo for it,
Boy, dry today for some reason.
It is. Well, it's cold out, So.
Cold out, heat's back on, we're good.
Yeah.
But it's like I say, these subjects that we get on, and we'd love to hear from you. If you got questions about these things, and
That's the whole point of this show
right.
is interaction. We want to have interaction with the listeners. One, to know that you're out there, and two, it makes it more fun. We can have some fun with it. You know,
definitely.
The only interaction we got is right here at the round table. You know,
right?
With ourselves.
Which is fine.
Never mind. Don't tell Mama.
So, you guys got a subject you want to bring up there or something, or whatever, or we can go on with reprogramming stem cells.
What?
Reprogramming stem cells.
Sure, why not? Let's go
You
on.
want to go on that now? Do
Sure,
you?
why not? Let's have some fun. We'll let Snide have his Snide corner this morning.
I've been away for a few days, so I haven't really caught up
okay.
with
Away in the
technology. The last
Away
well,
in
I
the
have,
hay.
but
Okay.
Yeah, you caught up. You turned your phone on to vibrate. That's all.
yeah, right. I caught up with New York
and
State
guess where he had it? Right in his back pocket.
Right?
Anyway,
Thank God that ended up clean.
Medicine Nobel Award awarded to stem cells pioneers who reprogram adult cells. So what this is, what they have discovered, that mature cells, not just embryonic cells, are capable of becoming any cell in the body.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is redoing. They got 4 comments on it, but I'm not going to read them.
So basically, what this is somebody's figured out how to take normal everyday cells,
Right.
take them and harvest them from the bodies from other places, reprogram them, and attach them back to the body to regrow those cells around that
Right.
area.
Neuron derived from stem cells. Neurons derived from human natural stem cells. Like I see, the green staining highlights a typical appearance of different nerves cells. These could be the base of future treatments for degenerative brain disease, such as Parkinson's, or
A cure for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I mean, this is only the start of reprogramming. So
So there might be some genetical or some really good medical future treatments for some of these very harsh and very bad diseases.
right, and then if you get into that, you could probably also reprogram the nerve cell for somebody that has a neck injury.
Right.
You know what I mean, and a spinal cord injury to
right.
neurological cells
Why couldn't you regrow them and just
and
reattach them? I guess,
regenerate.
Well, I suppose if we have the right tools to get down to that level.
Well, I mean, what they're doing is re-injecting them into the body and let them go and grow their own.
Grow their own. That would work.
So,
Right.
what can I say? Discovery was back in 1962, and they've been working on this since that time.
Wow.
So, and this was with frogs leaping off a tall building, you know, and not getting hurt. Being able to trip a car at high speeds or something, you know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder how people would feel about that, though. In another,
But it isn't
in another light of this. I mean, people are so hung up on cloning and all this other good stuff.
Well,
I wonder about this kind of stuff.
It was about unborn babies and stuff like that, and the embryonic cells that they took from
right.
that. Now they're doing it with nerve cells, taking them out of the body and being able to reprogram them and put them back in, and then they do the growing themselves.
Right. So they don't actually have to harvest these cells from unborn babies or embryonics. Cells or whatever. Right. So some of the controversy is gone, but I'm still wondering about because usually if you have a little bit of a controversy, like
Right.
You have this controversy, which is big. Usually there's different levels of controversy all the way down until everybody poo-poos it until it's no good.
I think probably 100 years from now you're going to see the public demanding that this kind of technology. If I can grow a limb back, or if I can grow a finger back,
I don't think it's going to be.
If I can get my hearing back, then I want to be able to.
Yeah, right.
To have that technology to do it.
I don't think it's going to be 100 years. I think it's going to be a lot sooner than that, within the next 10 years, you know, and like I said, since 1962, they've been doing this stuff.
Right.
And reprogramming the cells, you know what I mean, to get away from.
Well, that's only if we change our attitude as a society. That's one of the
Right, exactly.
problems.
That's what I was saying. 100 years from now.
Well, it's like they got now. I love the idea that they take, like a burn victim,
Yep.
and they take a culture of the skin, put it into the,
Incubator.
well, whatever you call it, the test thing, and they grow a whole new sheet of skin,
Yeah.
so that the burn victim isn't all scarred up. It's, you know, grows back in, and all they got is a little line around like a, you know, it's just laid on the skin, and it reattaches
like a
itself.
patch, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Yeah, you're basically patching the skin.
Well, I've seen this, about 10 years ago, you know what I mean, where they've started regrowing that, and the technology for burn patients, you know what I mean,
It's come a long ways.
right.
Yeah.
So, any comment on this, please give us a call at
315-220-0692.
Or give us an email at techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
We're all on Facebook and Twitter.
We are on Facebook and Twitter. We don't do much with Twitter just because I'm really not sure how to make it work good.
Right.
So 206, we've improved the genetic manipulation, could reprogram mature cells in mice into pure potent stem cells, you know.
Yeah, so that's a really, really nice, like you said, back to the idea of the controversy. I mean, you know, think about the what was it? Was it Russia? I think it was Russia. Scientists in Russia came up with the idea of phasia, I think it is. I wish Peter would call in and then he could explain the whole thing. But they found bacteria and other viruses that would eat other bacteria and other viruses.
Wow.
So like there was a bacteria that would combat the measles and the mumps.
Well, just hope they don't get out of control with it, like the flesh-eating
Well,
you know,
I don't think
stuff.
I don't think that's really where it went, because you know they were very specific with what they had, and the bacteria was very specific on it only ate this. You know, so it looked. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hello, what?
A phone call?
A phone call, but there we go.
There we are. Didn't have the sound up.
You're on Tech Talk Live. First name, where are you calling from?
Waterloo, New York.
Yep.
Tiffany Mills.
Hey, Tiffany, how you doing, dear?
Good, Phil. How are you?
Ducky, you're doing something with Second Chance Dog Rescue today, or?
Yeah, well, we do it every day. All of our dogs are available for adoption Monday through Sunday. But this happens to be Adopt a Rescue Dog Month, so we're kind of promoting that.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, just like it's to promote awareness of rescue dogs, shelter dogs, and kind of give an idea of what's available. A lot of people think that rescue dogs are, you know, either damaged goods or there's something wrong with them. But we're finding that a lot of our dogs are owner surrenders because the economy is pretty bad. So we're getting a lot of, you know, perfectly adoptable dogs, full breeds. We've got a lot of, you know, full breed labs and Bichons and terriers, house trained. You know, we have a background. Some are good with kids and cats. And
So this Saturday, so right now out to Second Chance Dog Rescue, you guys are having an event or an adoption day or something to celebrate?
Well, we're not doing anything particularly today to celebrate. We are having an adoption event at the Auburn Tractor Supply on Saturday the 20th.
So next Saturday.
And then next Saturday,
okay.
We're having a spaghetti dinner at the American Legion in Waterloo.
And I love that
Friday
theme.
the 19th.
Can you tell me the theme of that spaghetti dinner?
Our spaghetti and no balls.
we got.
Yeah, that's.
My wife and I loved it. Oh, I thought it was perfect.
Well, that's like me when I asked for male spaghetti in the restaurant, and they says, "What's that?" I says, "That's with a pair of them."
Yep, spaghetti and no balls dinner.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
But
So-
can you rescue me? I've been called an old dog once in a while.
Yeah, you
You know,
have.
I'm afraid that I would, that the new tricks that I would teach you might give you a heart attack. So.
Well, I'm already cured of that. I had just had triple bypass.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's doing good though. Look at him. I mean, if you see him on camera, he's doing pretty darn good for being 70 years old and triple bypass.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, congratulations for making it through that.
What do you mean? Making it.
So Tiffany, since I got you on the phone here, and Second Chance Dog Rescue is doing all this wonderful stuff for rescue dogs, which is a great service and a great thing. I'm glad you're doing it out there.
Thank you.
You know, number one, what kind of technology, just so we can gear this towards technology, of course, because this is a technology show. What kind of technology are you using right now to try to help promote and get the name of Second Chance Dog Rescue out there to the masses?
Well, our basic, computer technology is Facebook. We have a website. So the internet plays a huge part in promoting and awareness of our events and of our dogs. Pet Finder is a computer program that we use a lot. We're hoping to be able to expand into other, computer avenues, but technology as old as the newspaper, being able to email photos in for Pets of the Week and whatnot.
We love Pets of the Week, don't we?
All the time.
Yeah. So, I don't know, obviously, YouTube and the talk radio is hopefully going to be big in promoting the rescue.
Well, that's why I thought maybe since you were doing something and I saw your big post there, I thought maybe you could call in and talk about October being Dog Rescue Month and what Second Chance is doing right now. So.
Well, and I don't know if you limit it to technology as far as communications, but the fact that our dogs are as healthy as they are, and science and technology has improved the quality of rescue pets. We're able to cure diseases much more quickly than we would have been able to 10 or 15 years ago with the advance in medicine and the vetting techniques.
Right.
Technology plays a huge part in animals and rescue.
Right. That's great.
Not to get off topic, but any word on the legislation there out in the town of Junius that's been going on lately? Any word there?
Yeah, we have...
Well, fill us in, because I don't know what you're talking about.
About the puppy mills issue.
Oh, the puppy mill issue.
Issue.
Yeah, they have proposed a moratorium to put a limit on puppy mills in the town of Junius.
Well,
so there was a whole... It sparked by... Actually, a puppy mill right around the corner got permission to have, I believe, 80 adults and 200 puppies, which is a crazy amount.
It is crazy.
I have 3 litters of puppies here right now, 22 puppies, and it takes me and a handful of volunteers to, socialize and clean up and, make sure that these dogs are handled on a daily basis. And there's no physical way that these dogs are healthy.
Let them outside and they'll run away.
Yeah,
well, hopefully somebody's keeping on top of them.
Yeah, well, and then, so the problem with the board is that they are highly tied into the people who own the puppy mills, because it's farm country and they all work together. So they've decided to form a separate committee to do the research to see if, there should be limits and whatnot. So this Wednesday's board meeting at the Junius Town Hall at 7 o'clock, I believe they decide, and now you can only be on the committee if you're a Junius
of course.
resident.
Well,
so,
that's obvious, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's two aspects to that, good and bad, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, there should be some input from surrounding towns. I'll agree with that. But I mean, really, by the end of the day, you know, the people that are going to sit on that board are going to be the people from that town. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to say, hey, you know, let's have somebody from Ovid coming up here.
Well, I'm thinking they should have somebody from, you know, animal control or, you know.
The good news is, though, is that we can take advice from, you know, they're not limiting. It just depends on who's, you know, going to be on the board and who they approve and who they appoint and whatnot, because...
So you find all that out on Wednesday, though, right?
So they decide that on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Junius Town Hall is on Dublin Road. That is still open to the community. Yeah, it's... You know, you don't have to be a Junius member to attend the board meeting.
No.
You know, you just have to be a member to be on the committee.
Just need to show up in numbers, that's all.
All right, Tiffany, well, we got to go to break here. If you want to hang out or call back after the break and we can do a little bit more, or if not, you know, I'll give you a few more seconds just to say whatever you want to say about, and then we got to run to break.
Well, the good news is that I have to go because I have a couple of meet and greets lined up. But I would definitely like to call and join the program again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe next weekend we can. Maybe some listeners can give us an idea of how we can use technology to increase our adoption rate, and we can discuss that.
Rescue the dogs.
Next time you go over and see Fred and Donna over there across from the Sportsman Club there, tell them you said that you like Tech Talk Live.
I will.
You know,
I sure will.
I don't know if we can get him a discount, but at least if you mention it, then you know Donna will be happy, right?
I do. Oddly enough, I had dinner with them accidentally at Connie's about a month
Accidentally?
ago.
How do you have dinner with somebody accidentally?
Well, because Connie's was full and they were behind us in line, me and my daughter, and I said, you can join us if you'd like so that we can all eat, you know, sometime tonight. And as it turned out, you know, I happened to know that. I didn't realize I knew them until we were talking.
Well,
and so
I'll bring that up the next time I have supper with them, which will probably be tonight.
Two random strangers just say, hey, do you want to have dinner with us? And they should remember that. But
all right, well,
you guys have a good day, okay?
You too, and best of luck with the adoption stuff, and I'll keep you posted, or, you know, if you want to call in, just shoot me an email or something, and we'll do something on it. And
let us know how we can help you out.
Don't forget our spaghetti and no balls dinner, Friday the 19th.
Spaghetti,
no balls dinner. We're there.
Exactly.
I want balls, though.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Bye now.
All right, bye-bye. All right, you've been listening to Tech Talk Live here on Finger Lakes One TV.
And we're running a little late on our break.
We are running late on break. Holy cow.
But we love our callers, so that's okay.
We do love our callers. We love interaction. Give us a call. You got a question, you want to comment, you got whatever. Like us on Facebook. Do whatever you got to do. We're going to be right back after these brief messages, I think. Whoops.
Boom.
Whoop.
There it is.
Sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's one place you can get it at fingerlakes1.com. Come on over to fingerlakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
You're listening to Free Music by Dano. Download free MP3s at danosongs.com.
Back with Tech Talk Live.
Yeah.
I'm Flipper.
I'm Snipe.
And I'm JJ.
And we're a computer talk show, technology talk show, talking about whatever you want to talk about. So give us a call.
At 1-315-220-0692.
And if you want to give us an email, make a comment or whatever you want to do via email, please send us an email at
techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
Like us on Facebook.
Right on, baby. Like us all the way
Check us out on Twitter.
I think that's so funny. That's like 3D, dude. It's like, yeah.
Wow.
So poke me in the eye, right?
Right. I was thinking something technologically. I was thinking about taking one of the extra monitors I got, mounting it, I don't know, someplace up here, so you guys can see what's going on my screen. So you can see the video feed.
Oh,
so,
that'd be cool.
Right. Us. Yeah, so you can sit there and watch what we're doing. So if there's cues
there's a delay too.
No, there wouldn't be no delay.
Oh.
It'd be live. It'd be exactly what I'm seeing on the screen.
But when you're out on the net, you do what there's a delay of about
10 seconds.
Yeah, for editing purposes, Yeah.
In case we get a spay and no balls dinner.
That is so funny.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti,
no balls dinner. Yes.
That is so funny. I love that. That's great. So, hey, giving her another shout out, Tiffany at Second Dog Second Chance Dog Rescue.
Dogs. That's
Second
right.
Dogs.
Second dog chance.
Second Chance Dog Rescue. Out here are they in Junius or?
In Junius, I do believe, yeah.
Okay, so they have they rescue dogs from local pounds and stuff like that. And
That's out by the Great Mall.
the Great Mall.
Yeah, the Great Mall out in Junius.
Oh, the Outlet Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 318 Outlet Center area there. So, and next Saturday, I don't know what the time was. Did you know what the time
I
was?
didn't think she mentioned it.
Okay, but anyway, next Saturday they're having a. Go ahead, Snide. You say it much better than I do.
Spaghetti and no balls.
Dinner at the American Legion.
All right, so to help rescue dogs and stuff, and that's
American
great.
Legion and
We need to get.
Waterloo.
We're going to
Do you
need a
believe it was
rescue
Waterloo?
cat here in a second. If
there goes my camera.
Sneaking his way through.
right there.
Shall I
there
get you
goes your
around the
camera.
neck?
That's so funny.
We'll rescue you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so talking about getting back on topic here, Tech Talk Live and technology and all that wonderful stuff. One of the topics I wanted to bring up was how to come up with secure but memorable passwords, because a lot of people this last week just, I don't know what happened, but people were like, I can't remember my Facebook password. Oh, I just changed it and I can't remember this, that, and the other.
Please fill us in.
Well, I'm going to remember spaghetti. That's a good one.
Spaghetti, yeah, depending on how you spell it, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. 2 or 3 security professionals that I tend to read up on and see what they're doing, they have some different techniques of doing memorable passwords. One likes to use the Star Trek effect. I mean, if you ever watch Star Trek, all their passwords are one of the Latin alphabet, you know, so like Alpha, Beta, Zeta, 2, okay? Ooh, hi. That was loud.
That was loud.
You know, so you could always do something like that, or do colors, you know, green, purple, black, 54, you know, and then it makes it long, but if you remember those 3 colors in that order,
Right?
Yeah.
you know,
RGB.
red, green, blue, red, green, blue, 1975. One, it protects you from one brute force attack. So somebody just can't do a brute force against your account and go, okay, guess this, guess that, guess the other, and eventually goes through like 2 or 3 different dictionary files, and all of a sudden, is that him purring?
It was. He had a few things to say about this.
Evidently, he did. You could do your cats, okay? You could do Oscar, Blakey, and Bombery.
Oscar's got toenails, 10 of them.
Right, there you go. See, now that comes to another way to do it. Instead of doing individual words in succession in order to remember how to do password, like, you know, green, blue, purple, and then a number, okay? You could always do something like a phrase, which is what one of the other security professionals I tend to coerce with talked about, was what they thought was the best way to do it was come up with a full phrase. So like saying, tech talk is fun, but then replace 1 or 2 letters with a symbol. So you don't have to remember those symbols all the way through.
So your S is a 5 instead of a S.
Right. So, you know, like you could do Flipper Snide JJ, but then Snide has a 1 in it and a 3 to replace the I and the E, you know.
Another way of doing it is a lot of them have boxes. You understand the boxes, you know, where you put your password.
Yeah.
All right. You put your password in, whatever it might be, like Flipper 1975 or whatever the heck. Whatever it is.
Yep.
And then just as you get the cursor off the edge of that box, you click the cursor and continue putting words in or letters in or numbers in. What happens is that a spoofer that's looking for what you type.
Oh, you're looking for a keystroke logger. Okay.
Yeah. And that continues to, they don't know where on the screen you click that mouse, but you were just off that box, but you ended up putting in other numbers.
Right.
Or letters or whatever.
Right.
And you already spoofed them.
Well, see, I wasn't even going that far. I was just thinking, just coming up with memorable passwords. But you bring up an excellent point. There are a lot of malware and bad programs out there that do keystroke logging. And if you are putting in passwords and you possibly suspect, or maybe you just want to be secure, maybe you're going to go over the deep end and be super secure, You got an excellent point that as you're typing your password, you stop, you click off screen somewhere, type anything else. 45218, it doesn't matter. Match the keyboard, okay? Just as long as it's not on something that'll make it do anything. Then go back to the password box and finish typing your password. Nice. That'll actually trip up keystroke loggers. But the problem is that you have to do that every time you put in a password.
Right.
So that makes it a little more difficult to try to do that. I mean, you really have to get really
time-consuming.
Dedicate. Yeah, you got to be dedicated to doing that.
I'm just saying, you say flipper, and then you put in flipper, and then click off the box.
And type
whatever is the best, and then go back and click after flipper and put the rest of your 1989, whatever
it is, right?
Yeah, whatever you remember.
Right, that's exactly what I just said.
But you got to remember every time you do that, flipper is the best over here, and then come back to it over here and click on it over there.
I like using a combination of like patterns on the keyboard.
Right.
With using the shift for the last 4, of the password. So a lot of them are 8 characters nowadays, passwords.
8 characters, numbers, and symbols.
Right. So, do a combination of, of a box or an L or a J.
Right, for the visually people, right. Yeah, you could do, like saying if you wanted to do like every other key across the top, you got the QWERTY keyboard, you could do every other character is capitalized too.
Right, exactly.
So capital Q, small e, capital T, small y, and you're just doing this across the keyboard, and you could visually do it on the keyboard that way.
Or even diagonal, the letters, you're using the 1 Q A Z.
Yeah, whatever
and
the
shifting and doing 2 W S X.
Right. But now the question is, how would you remember that? Just because of the visual pattern, or
really.
Right. So there's a great tip for people that are visual on how to do their passwords.
What if you're blind and you're trying to put that in? It's
different problems.
It's got little bumps on them.
Right,
the keys.
a little different problem, I think. But really, that really brings up a good point. Was how do you we have all these things for biometrics, face detection, all this other stuff to maintain security. They've already figured out how to get around face detection. You can use an ActiveX control that actually takes over the camera and pumps through a particular picture. So you could take a picture of that person, pump that through onto the camera, and then throw it, it basically, tricks it.
My picture would come out so distorted that...
You are distorted.
The FBI don't even like it on the post office.
I don't know about yeah, he's twisted. Never mind. I'll agree with you. Oh, brother. But no, and then another great way to make passwords that are memorable is to know what like symbols and other things mean, like saying a different language. I mean, if you know a few words in German, okay, and how to spell them on the keyboard, you could just make that, take like those few words and just add a capital and a number, and typically you can meet the security requirements for most sites, and you're pretty secure.
So in other words, my password detection program is going down. I got to get a new one.
What do you mean?
Well, when I got a password that you can get into somebody's site and get their password, Oh, I shouldn't be saying that.
You do?
Oh.
Well, you got to get that one to me.
Keystroker.
A keystroke logger, again, I don't know how you're going to... That's one of the biggest problems I don't think you're going to get away from is keystroke loggers are notorious for... If they get into your computer, you might as well either find it and get rid of it, or B, reformat the hard drive.
They're doing a lot of things on the backdoor side of this stuff, you know what I mean? And like I said, you get this fictitious site that you... Like I say, I got it from... Flipper's site here, and I see who it's from. Like I said, you taught me that a long time ago. Who it's from. Read who it's from actually.
Yeah, not just because it says from Flipper. Yeah, look at the address and verify that the address is Flipper's.
Flipper 1970 dash.
Yeah, wrong.
That's close.
Yeah, that's close. That's good, but not good enough. Yeah.
But I clicked on that site, and then the next thing you know, they're spoofing my email.
Right.
So the next thing you said was change your password on your email.
Absolutely.
I changed the password, and it stopped all the BS.
Right, because they were authenticating to, if you have like a Yahoo account, once they get the address and they figure out the password, somehow.
It's one of the greatest things. Just change your passwords.
Yeah,
really.
Just change your password. I mean, you should be changing your passwords regularly. One of the big downfalls of most IT people, I am to blame for this on certain things, is we tend not to change our passwords because we have so many passwords.
Correct.
So it makes it very difficult to try to, okay, what was my password now for my bank? Oh, God, I can't remember. So I can't imagine how normal everyday users who might have 2 or 3 different banks that they use, having to remember 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different passwords. Oh, my Facebook password, my email password, my Facebook.
I got them all listed, so when they change, every 30 days.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I get mixed up on the 30 days because I have to count the 30 days. Some are 31.
Yeah.
So if you goof, which password did I use?
Right. But the question is, where do you have that listed?
In my checkbook.
Oh, it's in your checkbook.
Yeah.
So it's written down someplace.
Right.
Okay, so now that's better than what somebody like
guard
me
that.
is doing.
Right.
I guard that checkbook with my life too.
Right.
There's some apps out there, supposedly, on your smartphones that are going to protect your password. You only have to use one password. Log in, then you have your list of other passwords, but
right. But that's
I'm
just
not sure if I really like that or not. But
well, what if somebody hacks that password? Not only do they get the username and password for
then
those
you get
sites,
everything.
you're done.
Storm and Cloud, they're secure.
Storm and Cloud.
I love the cloud. Come on, it's not rainy yet.
I was gonna say you're Storm and he's Cloud.
Right.
So, now, what's the other thing you wanted to bring up was?
Anyway, I got one real quick thing that I just found. Anyway,
we'll grab it.
This is kind of back to our previous discussions, just a couple discussions that we've had. Got an article, anti-DEA rants on Facebook spark criminal prosecution. Actually, a federal judge okays prosecution of man accused of posting anti-police rants on Facebook.
Really?
Yep, saying that dismissing criminal charges on free speech grounds would be inappropriate.
Oh, finally, somebody's actually gotten past that point.
On Tuesday, U.S. District Judge William Lawrence of Indiana rejected requests by a defendant to throw out charges on the grounds that no specific drug enforcement administrative agent or individual had actually been named in his posts, stating that the Indiana man, Lawrence ruled that assuming that Facebook postings were illegal threats, which has yet to be proved, they were directed at natural persons, namely DEA agents, law enforcement officers, and governmental personnel.
Yeah.
So they're actually proceeding with the criminal charges for
now
making threats against.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb here, and maybe somebody will call in and tell me I'm wrong, but I hope so because I love getting people going. The question comes down to is what the actual content of those posts were. I mean, if it's just somebody, if I go out there or Snag goes out there and goes, you know what, you can't get these, I don't know, Seneca Falls PD or, wherever you're located, doesn't matter. I'm not trying to say anybody in particular,
right.
But, oh, these people can't do nothing, they're just nothing but a bunch of druggies and, a bunch of whatever, and that's just a rant.
Right.
How are you going to pull up on charges? You're going to say, well, the organization has rights to pull up charges? I mean, I suppose to a certain degree they would, but...
Well, they quote this one here in a 1969 case, U.S. Supreme Court overturned a conviction of a Ku Klux Klan leader on First Amendment grounds, ruling his vague promises of violence, there might have to be some revengeance taken, were not illegal. And it's a similar case that this guy in Indiana is doing as well.
Right.
He's not specifically naming any
one person.
Right, exactly.
They're not really attacking one person, but is there violence in the post?
Yeah, I do believe there was.
Okay, so if there's violence in the post, then there's other grounds, that makes it,
But the ruling that the U.S. Supreme Court overturned in 1969, there was, some type of revengeance taking. It could be.
Yeah, you can throw it either way, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So this
That's
judge,
a tough one.
This judge, I think, is going to test this ruling back in 1969.
That might be
See
fun.
what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like a lot of times the rulings are made way back then, and then they turn around and overrule them at today's standards,
Right.
you know.
What the
Right,
public perceives to be, a legitimate law or
Well,
what should be
that's the whole
legitimate grounds. Of,
well, that's the whole problem with what the public perception is versus what it really was intended for.
right.
Like freedom of speech. You have the right to speak your mind to a certain degree, but there are other laws that you can't supersede that with. Like libel and slander are perfectly two legitimate things that should not,
Defamation of character.
which is part of libel and slander, right?
Actually, it does state in here he's accused of writing a series of posts in August of 2011 and creating a statewide Facebook event schedule for November of 2011 containing vague but angry and violent statements regarding DEA agents. One alleged post was, "War is near, anarchy and justice will be thought. I'll kill whoever I deem to be in the way of harmony to the human
that
race.
right there.
Be warned if you pull me over," it states. That's what one of the posts were.
See, now he was fine all the way up until the killing part.
Probably.
As soon as you put some type of bodily harm, threatening.
But the back in '69 case against a Ku Klux Klan member stated revenge should be taken.
Oh, that's true.
That's kind of similar ground.
Well,
just
revenge
different.
should be taken, but what does that mean?
Right, exactly.
I mean, it doesn't mean
What
necessarily.
perspective does it mean?
Right. I mean, you can't really contextually, you can't really know what that means. Does it mean they're going to go beat somebody? Does it mean that they're going to go take a feather duster to them, go tickle, tickle, tickle? I mean, you don't know.
Or
But,
a
I mean,
flogging stick.
Right, a flogging stick, that'd be fun. I want to be flogged.
All in all, don't
Anyway.
don't post something that you don't want somebody else to read. Period.
By the
Pretty
end of the
much.
day, true, but
You
I mean, we shouldn't give up our right of free speech just because we're online.
Don't post something stupid online. pretty
Right.
much.
Don't post something stupid online. Don't post something like, "I'm going to kill you."
Right.
Okay, or "I'm going to beat you," or "I'm going to," whatever.
Common sense, people.
Right.
That's all it is,
Basic common
really.
sense really it comes down to. But again, if you don't like something, you don't like. I mean, me and Sny go back and forth all the time about different things that we don't like. There's something that might be going on. I might be like, "I like this." Sny's like, "I don't like this." It doesn't turn into, "I'm going to kill you."
No.
Wait for it.
It just turned into spaghetti. Yeah.
Spaghetti with no balls. But yeah, I mean, there's a difference between stating something that is a legitimate gripe and you have a problem with, like
And then taking it to the next level.
right. Oh my God, I can't stand all town of Seneca Falls employees. Okay. Can't stand them. They're just no good. They're just blood sucking, money sucking, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then you add the word, "I should kill," or "we should go kill them," or "we should revolt," or whatever. That right there,
Make sure that's an example, not a threat.
right? That right there in that context and with that post,
Yeah, it's alarming to somebody.
right? It's going to alarm somebody. It's going to be a problem,
Right. Exactly.
Well, I intended it to be alarm, a 5-alarm fire.
Right. Oh dear God, right? That's not good to joke around with about it.
And the statutes and the law says, all it has to do is alarm somebody. And you're in
And
violation of the law. So.
That's really getting, what defines you being alarmed over something and somebody else not being alarmed over the same
Right.
thing?
Well, I mean, we still have to have some form of standards or some form of
Threats or whatever.
where that's going to fall.
Where the line is drawn.
Yeah, you're going to have somebody. That's why we have judges. They're going to have to make that determination of where that line falls. But the question comes down to is what's alarming to one might not be something else.
Alarming to somebody
like
else.
I'm gonna when somebody says, "Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to jump off a building." Just out of kidding and joking around. Right, you would say, "Hey, go have a good time, man. No problem."
See you, bye.
Somebody else would be like, "Oh my God, we got to call 911 and get somebody over there and save that guy."
I'll even light your cigarette and throw it at you as you're dropping down, right?
Oh, please, I'm going to need one if I'm falling that far. But yeah, I mean, it really does come down to being objective and where people stand. I mean, I have no problem with people posting something that upsets them or disgusts them or something like that. I don't like the tax structure. Okay, fine. You don't like it. Back it up with facts, okay? But the minute you start going, "Well, geez, Snyde's stupid, Stides and ads. Well, we'll do it.
Yeah, that guy too. Yeah.
Beep. Yep. There's a beep. Sorry.
We're a family production.
Where you go off the deep end and you start
I'm getting my gun ready now. We're going off the deep end.
right. So that statement
Exactly.
would give you an alarm to go woo woo, and yeah, we got a problem.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
let's woo-woo the end of the show, huh?
All right.
And I think you should
Yeah.
have a comment on this topic. Email us, and we'll bring it up next week.
Well, next week
That
also.
sounds good.
Right.
But we didn't get into the politics.
I know.
Darn.
I was hoping to get into the presidential thing because I really find it fascinating the way the technology and everything people are doing in the political realm for promoting and demolishing politics.
I'm really not into either one of these presidents or candidates, so I'm
just
really
learning
not
it
following
online.
it. Really not following it.
How
But
about the technology that's involved in it?
You don't find that fascinating how much crap they're doing?
Not really.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Then we'll
I don't
drop-
like either one of them, so
I've already gone through a whole case of Scott tissue. Tissue, hell, I don't even know you.
All right. On that note, you're listening to Tech Talk Live. We're out of here for this week. I'm Flipper,
I'm Stein.
and I'm JJ.
and we're on every Saturday morning on Finger Lakes TV, FingerLakes1.tv.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
You've been listening to your technology talk show. Tune in next time to Tech Talk Live.